Oh, I'm sorry, just the way you said that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm crying. Yeah, okay, the date's wrong. Who gives a fuck? I'll change you later. Grow up, stupid. Just like some people call you mood, and that's gay. Gay mood. I'm outie. Okay. What's up, Terry? Yeah, go Brandon. He did. He left. Brandon's gone. Bye, Brandon. He's gone. Joe Brandon is gone. I talked about it on stage last night. I said like I I I don't know if I can get mad at Biden for why people think he's too old. I mean, yes, he's too old, but like I've also walked away from conversations out in the middle of nowhere, and many times at a fucking rock concert because I'm 49 and white, I do just stare off into the distance and kind of move like this. It's white people shit. It's not old people shit.
Yeah.
The
And
other
you
stuff's bad, but
and you remember how you felt during the good days when you could move all your body parts when you heard that song.
yeah, you think you still can, and you realize you're not, and then someone takes a video of you and you're fucking stink.
Now, you're a huge wrestling fan, right? Maybe not the biggest,
Yes.
but you like wrestling.
No, I'm up there.
Okay. All right. I didn't want it. Some people take
No,
that as
it's
an
it's
insult.
awful. I might as well go for it. It's bad.
So let me ask you this. What would now we love storylines as Americans, right? It's not
Yeah.
so much about what you represent, it's about the story behind you. We've seen that in, America's Got Talent, The X Factor, all that shit. If at the Democratic National Convention they go and the nominee is and the lights cut. They play the Undertaker's theme song and Joe Biden sits up out of a coffin Undertaker style. Do you think there's a chance it sways all the opinion back to his side?
No, the only way that would work is if that was actually the Undertaker in there. Then they'd be like, you know what? That's a better shot. That guy's tough. He's young. He's big and intimidating.
By comparison, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I thought you were gonna start saying what I said on the radio. I was on the radio when that kind of dropped yesterday, and
Mhm.
so I was a couple hours before, but the guy I was talking about before. So all my talk breaks that I have any more than 30 seconds was just me talking about Joe Biden nonstop. But one thing I did say was, if we're gonna do it, if Democrats really want to win, they've got to go for something that's kind of like Trump. So something that we have nostalgia from like the 90s and 80s, but now it hasn't kind of gone away. And it's like it's just a symbol of America. I was like, Mr. T needs to run, and he's only 76 compared to the other guys. Whatever. And Hogan was just at the Trump rally so they could battle against
Oh
each
my
other. Dude,
God.
Mr. T with chains on and a mohawk walking into fucking Putin's office, like, I pay the food, don't negotiate with me about criminals. Like, that would be the greatest of all time. You can put a real politician with them, but dude, it's not that far fetched. If people my age or older still are like, holy shit, Donald Trump, the guy who was in that Little Rascals movie, he's fucking president. Why can't
I,
Mr. T?
yeah, dude, I say take it a step further. Let's assemble an entire gay team. So you got Mr. T as obviously B.A.
But he's not
Baracus,
gay.
but that's what the Democrats love.
Oh,
So we're putting the
that's
whole
what I
team
don't
together.
like.
So Hannibal is obviously Hillary Clinton. When he gets elected, she goes, "I love it when a plan comes together." The crazy
Oh,
one,
who's the crazy one?
uh, that would be Face in the A team, right? The one who sings and
No,
everything.
I meant like in your
No,
group
no.
of.
That would be Murdoch. I'm so sorry, Murdoch. In my Democratic, I got to go Biden at this point, honestly, because he's literally you don't know what he's gonna do, but he thinks he knows what he's doing, and it's probably gonna work
Yeah,
out
but
in
he's
the
not
end.
charming. Face. Oh, you're making a Murdoch. I thought you were making
I'm making
face.
it Murdoch.
His
Yeah,
face.
no, I
All right, his face. He has to be able to come out and smooth talk his way out of it.
come
Fucking
on.
Biden can't do that. He's like, I like ice cream. Like, yeah, you do. Did you see that he bowed out on National Ice Cream Day, and everyone's like, "You think it's
Yes,
coincidence?"
yes, I'd love that. And then obviously Face would be Obama. Sorry, Terry.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that
Buttigieg's that
anyone
Puerto
could run.
Rican.
I think if you take Mr. T and then give him Big Mike as his VP, that's the tag team champions.
I
Because you got Mr. T in the office, but you've also got Barack, and because he's the first man there together. That's a team. The three of them rolling into fucking Hamas stops. Hamas says no mas if those three just roll in and there's
I,
like dogs and yelling. There'll be
I know
definitely
I
be dogs and
said
yelling.
I know we said we pity the fool who hates Russia, but actually we're gonna be friends with them.
See. I pity the fool who doesn't like change, right, Obama? Oh man,
How was your weekend?
Too bad I'm not a short like black comedian who does 6 impressions and puts them in all situations. Oh, that's the best. I love that comic. Anybody who's just like, you ever hear a whole scenario of Kevin Hart and Mr. T and Joe Biden in a drive-through at Taco Bell? It's like, why the fuck would I want to hear that? Like, that's not. It's great.
Come
it's not
on,
great.
you know how you always heard.
You know, and Biden be like, "Oh, are we at McDonald's? Oh shit, he doesn't know where he is."
The best is, I'm blanking on his name. He did Mad TV for a while. He was a black dude, but he did
Harry Spears. I've opened for him 5 times.
I wish it was Aries, the other one.
Artie Lang.
But he was doing Chris Rock for a while, like how Chris Rock should have responded to the slap. And then when Chris Rock did his set about like the special, it came out, he used line for line one of the lines the guy said. So they called him
Jay Farrow?
Like, I think it was Jay Farrow, now that you say that.
Well, he's the good impression guy. So he goes on Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's like, "That's great that you're here, Jay. But what if Eddie Murphy was here?" And he's like, "Fuck you, fucking Steve Harvey, rapist." Whatever.
Jay's too good at impressions. This guy was, I forget who it was. It would have been a better story if I remembered his name. He's very funny, but Chris Rock.
Black Jay Moore. It's me, Black Jay Moore, and everybody stole my career.
It's payback for me stealing all their jokes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you said you did radio this weekend. Do anything else fun this weekend?
Don't do.
I know you like to take
in segues. Don't do segues.
I know you like to take the weekend nice and easy and relax and not do anything. So did you do anything fun this weekend?
Don't do this. Don't do it. Speaking of shoes, you have one in your ass?
That's my fetish. You hit a home run there.
I don't know if I had fun this weekend. I didn't stop moving all weekend, but like, so I was on radio.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I was shaking. We didn't play Eddie Money though. I was on radio 3 to 7, and then I had to be hosting Last Comic Standing. It's the second round. There's 6 competitors at this point, 10 minutes each. I had to be there 8 o'clock. I got there. 6 good comics. It was a solid contest. Not a ton of people, but like a little less than 100 people there. Good crowd. None of them really did great. I mean, I never blamed the crowd, but the crowd was a little tight. It's like comics had to be like more fast paced and like rapid fire to keep their attention. And the problem is most of these comics, that's not their delivery or style. So it wouldn't make sense. They can get a little louder. So guys who went near the end tended to get the crowd a little bit better, but not that much more. But they did start to open up at one point a little bit. But one of the comics went in. He's a favorite in it. Not only for that round, but I think a lot of people thought this guy might have a chance to win it. And I don't want to say their names because it's just, I don't know. I was weird about that. I know the guy. He's a good guy, whatever. He didn't have his best set. And there's judges, you know, even though they give the audience these forms and they think they're filling it out, they're not. They just do that to fucking appease them and get them to pay for VIP. But we tell the comics that too, so they know it's not that. There's a couple of judges. And as a host, I'll say, I think everyone knows that. I think as a host, I'm also one of the judges, but there's other people too. But so my opinion, I've voted on 2 people before, and then neither one of them moved on because the other judges was, not that they're saying no to my opinion, but if the 3 of them outweighed me, I look for things differently than the other ones. Some are club owners, isn't that, but usually it's not other comics. So I chose 2 people. And when I said it to one, I had to tell them because I had to go on stage. I had to tell the other one of the main judges. I thought she was going to be like, okay, like, that's crazy. And she goes, yeah, I don't know who to pick either. But yeah, we both didn't pick this one guy. Everyone thought was going to like, we didn't even want to judge it on like past. Not that he's done better in the past. I don't want to look at it that way. It's hard not to sometimes. I was like, in this moment, he didn't have the best set by far. And I'm supposed to judge off this moment. And not just crowd reaction. He just didn't have the best set. A lot of lulls. So at the end of the show, when they're all done, I go back up. I do 10 to 15 minutes while they count the scores up and everything. And then they bring up the scores to me. I bring the comics back on stage, a cattle call type thing, and we do it. So we bring them back up, and everyone knew this. Everyone was told. The one comic that we all thought that was going to win and then didn't do well did not come up on stage. And I looked at him like, I saw the guy, and I make a joke or two out loud. He happened to be the one minority on it. No, there was an Indian guy, like one black guy, and I said, Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about him being late, and the whole crowd kind of laughed. And I yelled out like, "I found you dead!" I thought that would like, get him to come out here, but he didn't. But people laughing, whatever. I'm friendly with the guy, so I know I can make the jokes, whatever. He doesn't come out, and we announced the 2 winners, and to move on, and he's not one of them, and we just never saw him again. He just skedaddled.
Shit.
So it's like, but he wouldn't have known. It's not like anyone could have told him that he didn't move on, because it's not like it was like announced for like they wrote it down on a piece of paper and handed it to me. You know what I mean? So like he must have either thought he was doing so poorly that fuck it and the embarrassment, but it's just kind of like rude, because if he won, he'd be bothered if someone else
Why
didn't
wouldn't he be there? Yeah.
be up there. Or 2, he thought he did so awesome it didn't matter. Another guy likes to go gamble. Maybe he said, "Fuck, I'll go to the tables. They'll just text me and tell me." But like, if you move on, 2 people move on to like the semifinals now. But the top vote or the top performance of the night out of the 2, or anyone who moves on for this year, at least in the contest of every round, gets a cash prize. So it's not much, but it's like, $75. But at least you have dollars in your pocket for moving on if you had the best set. So you think you'd stay around, at least go, maybe there's a chance I got some money. You know what I mean? Because you have to get it. So how are we doing with that? Watch hours, same as fucking last weekend, asshole. Unless you watched all of them all the time. So who's the piece of shit in this, I guess? Would it be the guy who fucking said, "Fuck yeah, I'm not going to show up to the end of it"? Is it the club in the contest for bringing comics on stage? It's a little weird. I've always hated having to do it. You go up there, only one person's going to like wave, and everyone else is going to just sit there, turn around, have a sad walk off stage. Already after you had a good fun walk off stage, even if you didn't do the best, you still had fun performing.
I had fun, yeah.
Is it the other contestants that didn't call him out or say anything or give a shit, whatever? Or is it me for having that bother me? I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but it just, I don't know. It wasn't professional. You put yourself into a contest. Be respectful to the other people. I know contests aren't fun. I don't like doing them. I've been fortunate. I've won almost every one of them I've been in, and but I've never liked the feeling of them, because comedy shouldn't be competitive. I like it when I do well, you do well, the other guy does well, and the crowd has a great fucking time. I want everyone to do well. So who's the piece of shit?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I view it as a contest with yourself, right? Can I be better than I was a lot? Like, if you want to be competitive with you and have the best night you can. Don't worry about the people around you. They're going to do their jobs. So I also don't like contests, but I get where you're coming from. If you agree to do a contest, you should go out there, win or lose. I've done the contest. I've lost twice. Both times I went out on stage. You know what I mean? Like, had fun. It was cool being there. I don't think it was, neither time was I in this dude's position where like a lot of people thought I was going to win or anything, but just, it sucks when you lose. So I'm going to give him a pass if he had like a breakdown. You know what I mean? If he's like crying because he knows he blew his shot or something. I don't know the guy, but if that's how he was and he was like, I can't compose myself.
He's doing just fine without it. I mean, it'd be nice to have the weekend, but you get a weekend there or whatever, and he's done opening weekends there before. He gets work. He's pretty popular, especially in the Boston area. He's a Connecticut guy, but he just,
okay.
That one thing he wouldn't do would be like that. I'm gonna say, knowing him, I bet you he went and gambled.
Okay. Then
lost track of time, but at the same time, you think he'd message somebody and say, "My bad." He didn't have to do it to me, I guess. I was the one running it that night, because the guy who usually helps run it had to be off at a different show. So they had me also be in charge of the rules and shit, which is annoying. I just wanted to host it, but so you think he'd come to me, and we know each other. Out of all the guys on the show, I'm the friendliest with him. I didn't really know the other 5 people.
So given that information, you're not the piece of shit, because you would have handled it. You've been in those positions. You would have handled it differently, and you have a standard you kind of hold for yourself, right? So by being put off that somebody who didn't do that, it's almost acknowledging to him, hey, I thought you were a tier above this, where you get this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's a move of a new open micer who didn't win Frank's,
which he is not,
his Thursday show. No, so like, it's not you for that. For me, it's him. Win, lose, or draw. Like, every time I've done that contest, it's been, oh, cool, I'll get a good amount of stage time in front of a solid audience. So that's how you should look at these things. There's people there. People are going to pack the room. It doesn't really matter. Just have a good set, and win, lose, or draw, walk away going, I had a fun time performing. But kind of like if you were in a play and you were killed off in the first scene, you're not going to go home. You're going to come out for stage call at the end. I don't like how they do it either. I think it'd be fun if you tap the two people on the shoulder and were like, hey, come out with me. And then everybody else didn't. You know what I mean? Like that way you don't have to do the quote walk of shame while two people are winning. But at the end of the day, support other comedians. There's so many opportunities. Like Kevin said, there's 5 comedy roasts in Hartford alone.
I know
Who
he's not
cares?
saying like a good thing. It's become super
that's my
annoying in
point.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But like there's enough stage time for everybody. Support your fellow comics. You don't need to.
Well, no, there's not. That's why they're doing comedy roasts, because they're all like, they want stage time so much. They're not even doing shows. They're literally 2 losers who've never made a funny ever, or yelling at each other their shortcomings, and they're doing it. And what's smart is 2 or 3 of the Connecticut/Massachusetts comics have realized these dorks can't really do sets. So they set these up. These guys all do it for free, and then they sell tickets to an audience. They get 2 decent roasters and pay them at the end, and then people watch it. And if they spend $50, they make like $500 at the door and rip off all these morons. As they're like, "No, you are the one without jokes."
But yeah, go out there. You can wait an hour to gamble.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I guess I don't think I'm a hypocrite for this, but I was just thinking of that when I said I've always gone up on stage and whatever, and I don't like this. Okay, have you ever been in an open mic where you didn't realize that the guy who ran the open mic was like, "Hey, we're turning this into a contest. Like the best set of the night gets like $50 or something, like that kind of shit." Where it's like, okay, why are we using an incentive of money for an open mic? Because I want to practice. I don't want the people think I'm trying, or for me to try. That's dumb that you put a competitive thing in a thing that's supposed to be practice. So it's like having a slam dunk contest in the middle of a shoot around before a game. It's like, well, why is there a thing that matters? You don't have to participate, but if you don't participate, it makes you look like you didn't want to win. So whenever those happen at open mics where I go to work on shit, and I'm not trying to be a dick, it's just the way I perform, I still have the best set of the night just by working on shit, because the other guys aren't that good. So there's been times where they're like at the end, like, everybody come on stage and we're gonna announce a winner, and I just stand back and I go, no, I don't want your stupid money. I'm too good for. I say this out loud like an asshole. Like, I'm too good for this. I'm better than all of you. It's like Shaq battling midgets. There's no point. And I make a whole point all the time, but I stand out to the side and I do not go up, and I let them pick someone else. One time they still picked me. I was standing in the corner and I opened my did it, and I gave the money to a guy who sucked. And everybody was so mad. They're like, "Why'd you choose him?" Like, because he sucks. He never won any money. So here you go. Like, I don't care. Like, that shouldn't be. So yeah, in those kind of but in a real one where I'm like a festival or a contest, the only ones I've joined are ones that have like several rounds and money and stuff. I've won everything but one, and the one I didn't win, I lost to a guy who's from the hometown where the finals was. And the guy used to be deaf, and he isn't deaf anymore. So I was like, "Fuck you."
Oh God. Good for
I think
him.
I told that story, but like he
I
went
think
up
you
there.
have,
And, he went up there and faked deaf, so I went up there and faked they had cancer. And at the end, I'm like, they're all like almost crying because he really was deaf, but then like got his hearing aids. They're all cheering for him, and I was like, before my set, I was like, just sorry if I seem a little off. I just found out I have cancer. It's gonna be a battle, but I think we're gonna be okay. And I did my joke. They're all laughing. They're on top of it. At the very end, I go, "Before I go, I just want you to know I don't have cancer. You guys are just pieces of shit." Boo, boo. And like they call us up, and the crowd's gonna choose the winner. And I was like, if I'm gonna lose anyway, I knew I'd rather lose by just being a piece of shit. I wasn't tanking. There was no way I was gonna win. You know, no matter what I did, I wasn't gonna win.
But no, but yeah, I think you go and support people. You know, it's one thing if it's like a giant showcase and you got other things to do, but if you go to that contest for the evening, that is your night. You know what I mean? You're not spot hopping. So go do it. Wait an hour to gamble.
Yeah, you drove out and do whatever. I mean, even if you are going, I know he was trying. One comic on the show puts on shows in Boston. This guy does a lot of Boston stuff. I know he was asking him, like, do you have any spots tonight later on, trying to get down that way. I mean, maybe he wouldn't got a spot, but I know he didn't ask that guy, because the guy he asked was the top winner. This guy Jack Hollow had a great fucking set, and I've never seen him before. I'd heard of him. Very funny guy, dude. The jokes are what they are. The guy's personality and just the way his delivery and all that shit. I was like, this guy, he fucking, in a crowd that didn't want to laugh, he fucking tore him up. So he definitely deserved it. This other dude, and you know what's other cool is that the guy who came in second, and to be fair, he wasn't the guy I chose, the second place. The first place guy, we all chose him. The second place guy, he's been around for as long as I've been, but like he'll do it for like 2 years and then kind of just fade away. Like he went off and got married at one point, had some kids, came back, does comedy a little bit. You're like, oh, his name's back in it again. And then he kind of goes away. So he's been around as long as me, but probably only performed like half as many years as me. And he moved on. I'm like, he's never gonna win it. He's developed this weird delivery that some guys it takes a long time to get it. And I was happy to see him move on. But the other kid, definitely on paper and normally is always funnier than them. It just didn't have that.
And that's the beauty of comedy. Sometimes it's not your night. Like sometimes you drive to the Bijou Theater on a Saturday and your car doesn't have AC and you're like, oh, thank God it'll have AC when I get there. And then you get there and they're like, AC broke. And you're like,
in that theater, it's so warm.
Dude, I think I lost 20 pounds. I sweated through a sport
that green
jacket.
room is the sweat box.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was not. Like, it was one of those where you just looked in the crowd and they were like, just didn't have the energy to laugh. Like, it was so hot. But, and then as I was leaving, they were like, oh, you had a great set, man. You were on. Like, so.
Was it just the two of you or did they have any surprise Connecticut folks?
Just the two of us. Like, that's.
I know Billy Wynn would show up or some shit.
That would have been cool. I'm surprised AJ didn't get a spot. I know he and Earl have become friends recently, kind of.
Right, but I know AJ had something. I saw him post
it. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Possibly. I think if Earl was right in using it properly, not that he draws a lot, but if Earl wasn't going on the radio and talking about it, AJ'd have to have a bigger set to have him come in and not on AJ's part, just to promote for Earl's point. Like, let's pack it out with the 2 radio guy. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But
no, I get.
You're better off just doing it to you. The comedy right now in July is very dead. People aren't coming out the way they're supposed to. Once in a while, you get them to come out. So come on out August 8th through 10th.
9th and
10th. I set up. I had to send the marketing people videos and stuff, and they're fine with it. So next week they'll start using the crazy promotion. But yesterday when I got there, they promote in the casino, so my face is all over some spots in the casino. And I had people look at my face, and I had a hat on. They were looking at me, looking at the thing. I'm like, that's kind of funny. I was also wearing a T-shirt that had George Jefferson on it, and it said "Shut up, honky." And so black people were looking at me and didn't know what to do with that. They were like, they looked at me like, And I looked at the shirt. They're like, well, I like the message, but are you being a dick? Like, they couldn't tell. It was great. But when I got to the club itself and go inside, one of the managers was, have you seen your poster? And I'm like, so it was me like from a year or two ago when I'm like, I was a little tanner from running all the time. And the way I'm yelling and the way it's kind of dark, I look black as fuck, dude. And everyone's like, holy shit, Pat's black. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, we got 2 black comics coming. Where are you guys at Pat Oates? And I guess we got those guys. Black comic. Because everyone's like, look, it went in order who's coming. So the weekend before us is Kurt Metzger. It's like Kurt Metzger, Black Pat Oates, and then Matt Friend. And I'm like, that's a weird threesome. But yeah, I look black as shit in it. I'm like, nice.
Hell yeah, dude. People are going to be so surprised.
They're going to be like, no, because I'm going to lean in. I'm going to do blackface now because the poster said I have to.
I mean, I think that's the rules. I don't make the rules.
I don't think I should either. I'm getting your little picture up. Oh, Rosie O'Donnell's running for president?
That looks like Rosie O'Donnell, but I think that's what happens when you say to make Kimberly Cheatle morbidly obese. And you nailed it, the Secret Service lady. Did you see she had to testify in front of the House today?
I knew she was going to. I didn't see anything.
Oh, boy. A big story came out of this. Are you ready? Secret Service director advocates for more trans agents. In a historic and controversial move, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle testified before the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, advocating for an increased inclusion of transgendered individuals in the agency. This recommendation follows a recent assassination attempt where an agent's menstrual health was cited as a factor impacting the team's performance. On July 13th, an assassination attempt on Donald Trump exposed a potential vulnerability within the Secret Service. The agent assigned to a critical rooftop surveillance position was reportedly experiencing severe premenstrual syndrome, PMS, which may have impaired her vigilance and response during the critical moments of the attack. Director Cheadle addressed the incident in her testimony, emphasizing the need to rethink personal assignments and high-stakes security roles. The unfortunate incident on July 13th has revealed a significant issue that could compromise the effectiveness of our operations, Cheadle stated. By increasing the representation of transgendered individuals who do not experience menstrual issues, we can enhance our agency's readiness and resilience. Cheadle's proposal is viewed as a bold step towards not only inclusivity, but also operational efficiency. Transgendered agents bring a wealth of diversity and unique perspectives that are invaluable to our mission, she added. Their inclusion would mitigate the risks associated with menstrual health issues that can affect the performance of cisgender female agents. The call for more transgendered agents is seen by some as a practical solution to a biological challenge. It's not just about diversity for diversity's sake, Cheadle explained. It's about ensuring that every agent on duty is physically capable of performing their best at all times. Transgender individuals, particularly those who do not menstruate, present an opportunity to address specific operational challenges. Lawmakers had mixed reactions to Cheadle's testimony. Representative Jamie Raskin, a Democrat, supported the initiative, highlighting its potential to strengthen national security. Director Cheadle's approach is innovative and necessary. Addressing physiological issues through diversity is a forward-thinking strategy that could enhance our protective services. Conversely, Representative James Comer, a Republican, expressed reservations about the practicality and implementation of such a policy. While the idea is intriguing, we must carefully consider how to integrate these challenges without causing disruption within the agency, Comer said. It's essential to ensure that all agents, regardless of gender identity, meet the rigorous standards of our Secret Service. Advocacy groups have praised Cheadle's proposal, viewing it as a significant step towards greater representation and equality in federal law enforcement. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Director Cheadle for kind of taking the blame off herself and just being like, you want to be mad at me, you're transphobic, even though she's a cisgendered woman who probably was part of the problem? Is it the Democrats for jumping on board with this without realizing it's basically stepping on the necks of women? Is it the Republicans who are like, no, this is a problem, when their whole argument all along has been like, let's get trans people and wokeness out of everything? Who is your piece of shit in the story, Pat?
It's not either political party. The Democrats have been doing that. So has the Republicans. They've both been saying one thing with it, but not meaning to, but like destroying themselves with all their moves lately. That's just kind of what they do. First of all, I look at a picture of her like that. I'm like, Men in Black. Whoa, gross. And it's her for the trans thing. That's the weird part. I mean, to lean into that, just because you're wearing a suit in this picture, maybe I don't think they make this. I don't know. I can't remember ever seeing a female Secret Service person like in any movie or anything. And I don't really look at pictures of Secret Service people, but I always feel like they're in suits and they're always dudes. So like, do the women wear suits or do they wear a business outfit, like a business skirt and like secretary outfits or something? What do they wear?
They all look like a bunch of Hillary Clintons running around. They've got the full pants.
No, they got like a suit with the tie and everything.
Yeah, didn't you see? I don't think that women have to wear ties.
Okay.
I think the men have to. Because like if
no,
you see
I haven't
the picture
seen any
of her,
female fucking yeah.
Oh, like the actual picture of her post assassination is her trying to get her gun over her fat roll back into its holster, and she misses like 6 times, and she's in a suit.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, it's her for being a big fat piece of shit and then talking. You're supposed to be in the Secret Service. Shut the fuck up. They can't even secret right. Fucking ladies. It's a secret. Okay, I'm telling. You can't tell, fucking penguin. Fucking fuck you.
I gotta disagree, Pat. I don't think it's her. I don't think it's her for taking the anti-JK Rowling approach and just being like, we don't need cis women, we need trans women. She almost got Trump killed. I do think she's the piece of shit in the story, and here's why. The simplest solution is be like, if we hire a bunch of trans people, who's going to try to kill Trump?
Trans?
No, we hire them all. That's the people who try to take him out. A bunch of
Yeah, but you could just you could by accident hire the killer. That happens in every bad movie from the 90s. One of the killers is in the room right now. Like, why the fuck do we let him in?
I gotta guess it's the one who
If we're,
uses the wrong
if
restroom.
we're worried about killers, why are we just hiring folks? Here's the time not to hire.
I think honestly the fault here is NCIS because they introduced us to Ziva and that other broad who got shot in the head, and we just assumed that's like female agents were tough.
I don't know any of the characters in NCIS. I just know there's that one chick who's like, I'm nerdy. And they always show her in fucking like the commercials.
No, they don't let her on the road. They don't let her out of the
lab going, I'm too nerdy and I'm kind of fuckable, but not really. And you're like, all right.
She also hates the gray haired dude who runs the show because
the guy from
get out of
the summer vacation.
Yeah, he just wouldn't leave character. He was just a prick to her at all times. And then they asked
the
him,
guy
in
every third movie tried to bang Kirstie Alley.
It's like, I just don't like her.
What's his name? Mark Harmon. That's
Harmon,
his name.
That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that just all of a sudden came back. You're like, wait a minute, that guy is back. Ah, fuck. Like, that's where all the actors who you were like, oh shit, they're back. Just come back, like NCIS and CI in the CSI shows.
And then they got rid of that trend, and it became the what's the Hallmark original movies.
Well, they did that first too. Yeah, even before that, when I was growing up, Meredith Baxter Burney was there. I'm like the mom from fucking Family Ties, and she was in a lot of them. And Valerie Bertinelli, and then
Winnie
Treat
Cooper.
Williams. I don't even know what Treat Williams was in, but like that name is great. Treat Williams, and he's white. That's crazy.
Wow, I don't know Treat Williams, but I was not guessing that he was white.
White as shit, dude. It was fucking Hallmark. No blacks.
That is true, dude. Winnie Cooper's become their new go-to girl. They use her.
She's been in a couple.
Everything.
She's been in a couple. Yeah, she does it. And there's another girl. I forget her name, but she looks like Diane Lane, but she's not Diane Lane. She's
I know
like
exactly who you're
Lane.
talking
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
She's in a bunch of them too. Those movies stink.
They're the worst.
Man, I was for my day job during the day. So I've been on the floor with people with dementia. So they put on the TV for them in the dining room area, and they were on Sunday. I had to be there from 5:30 to 2:30, and like every time I was upstairs, it was just a marathon of what the fuck is that movie called? The TV show Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon and that guy who wore the Oakland A's hat. And dude, I remember this movie was like TV show as a kid. So the guy who had the hat, he's like, I guess he was like a kind of a guy that's a good man, but he needs to help this angel who comes down from fucking heaven, which is Michael Landon. And then and they go around and they kind of solve crimes. But we're watching it, and like even back then, like the fucking closed-mindedness on TV was insane. So I look up quickly, and all these other people are kind of watching it as Michael Landon runs out and goes, "Of course we accused you. You're black." And I was like,
"Oh, my man!"
Oh, that was for 8:00 Sunday prime time. This is good family watching.
I love that.
You're black. Get out of here. I tried this on stage the other day. It doesn't work well, but it happened. I was like, you ever have a thought, and that thought is like, oh man, am I racist? You don't mean to, also, because I remember I was reading a thing and it talked about these 4 kids were kidnapped and then molested, and they were finally found, and it said all 4 children were Puerto Rican. I was like, really? I don't. It was just kind of wild to me that somebody would kidnap and molest Puerto Rican kids, and I don't know why. But I'm like,
I know why. They can't keep a secret. Yeah, they're not going to shut the fuck up.
They got knives. Fuck. Oh, is it my turn? Yeah. Okay.
I think it is.
Saying I'm racist isn't a piece of shit story. Just admitting my fucking grand wizardry.
Those Puerto Ricans for getting kidnapped. Come on, you didn't have your knives out? What are we doing here?
All right. Since we're talking about that kind of stuff, let's just continue it. Megyn Kelly talking about Kamala Harris. America is not going to elect this nimrod as its first female president, quote unquote. I was happy Megyn Kelly was out of the news for a while, but if she's going to call people nimrods, you're back in, baby.
How long do you think she paused on the "neh" before she hit the imrods?
I don't think as much as she needed to.
You should have dragged that out for a whole measure.
You can't drag them. That's illegal. Megyn Kelly likes former President Donald Trump's chances of returning to office this November, saying that Vice President Kamala Harris is a nimrod who will be rejected by voters as she emerged as the likely Democratic Party nominee in the wake of President Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election. I am telling you, America is not going to elect this nimrod as its first female president. I trust in them too much for that. Kelly said during a special Sunday broadcast of her Sirius XM show, the Megyn Kelly show. That makes sense. It's a good name for it. Kelly said the voters are not that dumb and they're not that open to a female president to where they feel like anybody will do it. The former Fox News Prime host said that the mother of a daughter, as a mother of a daughter, she thought it was effed up that there was not yet been a woman elected president of the United States. I hate the fact that when you take out your little placemat when your kids are learning the presidents, there's no female faces on there that you have to explain why. And it goes on about that dumb shit. Okay. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it whoever wrote this story and then turned it into a, women's rights thing? It's not a women's rights thing. Biden stinks. And Harris is less likable than Biden. If you're around somebody who's fucking a moron and people don't go, wow, that person must be a good person because they're with the moron, and they still go, no, that person stinks as well. Like, Pence was this to Trump because people were like, I don't know, I like Trump, but Pence creeps me the fuck out. Like, Pence is like, yeah, I can't be with any woman alone. Like, what happened? Why can't you be with any woman alone that you've made this rule to God? Only you and your wife. What do you do? Like, what the fuck? And Kamala, like, I'm black, yo. And I was like, no, you're not, yo. And I'm a lady. Like, no, you're not really. Like, nobody's accepting. Their groups aren't accepting her. Like, nobody really gives a fuck. They're more unlikable. So, like, but for this person write the article and flip that and go kind of about that, but kind of more about all women. It's like, no, the best person for the job. We haven't had the best person for the job in the last 20 years. We haven't cared about who's best for running the country. We've had who's best for looking good. I'm going to say ever since Obama was voted in because people were like, we need to make change. Like, fuck it. It's a good year for change. Let's do change. And after that, it's like, let's get nuts, like Trump. And then after that, they're like, anything but Trump, Biden. And now we're going to go back to Trump again. And not that I'm saying that Bill Clinton wasn't the best, but Bill Clinton, at least was a good enough politician to get through all the allegations. He didn't have to go to court for fucking a whore. He would just go, yeah, I didn't do it. Haha. And then you guys can all make jokes about it on SNL. That's fine. Like, he didn't care. But he still was a lifer politician. Not that Biden wasn't, but Biden should have been in that position 25 years ago, not now. So is the piece of shit Megyn Kelly for saying Nimrod. Like, I like the fact that she said Nimrod, and it's a funny word to say, but like, you want to show your age, honey. You're a girl that used to be the big star of Fox News and got yourself in trouble, whatever. Now you're like hoping people watch your podcast. It's like, you're going for some old folks when you're breaking out Nimrod. It's making me chuckle, but I'm not going to go to the news lady who says Nimrod. That's not where I want my news. Nimrod news is not the news you want. Is it Kamala Harris for not being able to even use this as being likable? I guess the Democratic Party raised her 1.4 million like in a day yesterday, but like, or was it? It was 4.1. It was a crazy amount of money. Whatever it was in one day, but like, no one's backing her. They're all saying we'll back you, whatever, but they're not, because it'd be full endorsement right now. So it's like, is it her for being so fucking unlikable in a time where all you gotta do is like smile and not stab a baby, and you could be liked more than the people that are involved right now? So who's the piece of shit?
It's not Megyn Kelly. Like, mission accomplished. She said Nimrod, but people are talking about her. You were right. She used to be the queen bee of the ball. Now she's doing a podcast, hopefully getting in the news cycle once a month. You know what I mean? Like, so I get what she's doing. I think the best attack people have pointed out is the party who's been running on the grounds of we need to save democracy now has a candidate that no one voted for. She won none of the states in the first go around before she dropped out. She's gotten 0 delegates. She's won through election. She'll get the super delegates. So that's a fun argument. Rock the vote is always a piece of shit. Like, you shouldn't vote, but like, for me, this is where we're at as a democracy at this point. Like, nobody's happy. Thomas Jefferson said every 7 years there should be a revolution to preserve the democratic ideals. Like, neither side is super fired up for who they have, especially if it becomes like, she's hateable and she's a closet Republican. She's locked up and enslaved more black people than any Republican has in office today. Like, that has become her claim to fame in the city she was in. Mandatory minimum sentencing. I just saw. Yeah, no, I did call it a democracy. Good point, Kevin. That is the funniest thing I've said all day. No, that's my point. Like, I get it. Like, it's not, but it's the Democrats. You could waltz into the White House if you just put up a half decent candidate, like somebody who's just not hateable. And it's not a women's rights article. That's the piece of shit in this story. It is a women's rights issue, and the issue is this: putting women who are qualified in the position to do the job. Right? Like the idea of saying women are as good as men is you put the best version of that in the spot. Saying that we need to just support women because they're women is the opposite of feminism. That is 100% sexist. You're going, men are better than women. So when a woman has a shot, we all need to get behind her. How disingenuous is that? Like, it's the same argument people would make about Obama back in the day. And now it turned out better than those people thought. But a lot of the problems we're dealing with now are because of that. And the argument was like, imagine you have one seat at a table reserved for the first to do something. Is that Kamala Harris? You want Kamala to be the first woman president? That's who you want to represent you? Then you don't deserve the right to vote. Pat, that's my piece of shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree in a way, but what I don't understand is, regardless, the piece of shit in this is all the Democrats, just in general, everything liberal, because like, man, they don't know how to fucking. They, it's like watching a team that's got more talent play a team with lesser talent, and there's just for some reason because they can't get out of their own fucking way, they're losing, or at least in a close thing, and you're like, you should be winning this. Like, for all the craziness that the conservatives are showing, and everything that happened with Trump before the shooting and all that stuff, where people rallied behind him, but like, it shouldn't be hard to be a loudmouth mean man in something about like caring about the country. But because we've gone for this divisiveness and this craziness that the Democrats have bought in 100%, the second the debate ended, everyone should have shut their mouths. But instead, everybody went to a reporter and was like, we got to get Biden now, got to get Biden now. So it became this more divide. Like, holy shit, now the Democrats who we thought believed in Biden don't even believe in Biden. So what's he doing there? He's sitting there doing this on his own. So like, either he has wrong people, the close people in his ear, or he's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, guys. When you brought me in here, you told me to just, you have my back, and now you don't have my fucking back. So then when they go, fuck it, we finally get him out of there. All right, I'll do whatever. And Kamala, he says, how about Kamala? And then now everyone else, same kind of thing, is like, yeah, we don't fucking know. We don't know if she should be the right one. Maybe it'll be somebody else. But yeah, I guess we'll back her. This, that, whatever. When they should all just be going, Kamala Harris is the answer. Her and Biden were the team. She knows the message. They're supposed to be behind her and push this thing, so you go, okay, there's unity over there. If I have to choose a team, which is stupid, we're choosing teams right now, give me the team that looks like they have some kind of unity and cohesiveness. But this, every time they nominate someone up, everyone's like, fuck them. It's like, well, you're the team that chose them. That's like also drafting a guy first in the NBA draft and going, this guy's gay. It's like, he stinks. It's like, but you just drafted him first. Like, why are you talking to? You better figure it out or fuck him. It's like, I don't understand. At least the Republicans, the ones that don't like Trump, shut up until somebody digs for old shit. They all kind of pull back and they're like, I just hope that the Republicans get all the chairs or like that. It's like, oh, we believe in the party or whatever. And they kind of step the fuck back. Like RFK came out recently and was like, I told you guys a year ago when you guys told me I couldn't be allowed in the Democratic Party that this guy's not fucking capable. Fucking keep me in it. Because if he had that backing now and he was the guy, it might be RFK. But now no chance of the third party, no way it's going to work. But
no, and like, you're the Democratic Party. It's 2024. You do not give a shit about election security. You're telling me you can't just rerun all the primaries before the Democratic convention? Send one text message out. You get one response. Sorry, the dead people don't know how to text. Use just your legit fan base. We knew that back when they did this to Bernie, they weren't the party of democracy, and they certainly aren't now. Fuck them.
Fuck them indeed. Did I freeze? I don't like freezing like that. What the fuck?
I thought you were having a stroke. That's why I paused for a second.
Oh, I paused too. I'm frozen like that. So hopefully, I'm gonna try to ride it out for a minute, because if I try to bail, it's moving around a little bit. Okay. I feel like if I try to bail and come out, it'll take too long. So anyway, Bobby, you go ahead and do a story.
Yeah,
I won't be able to share the cartoon.
Oh, okay, I got you. If you unfreeze, it's ready for you.
All right.
But in the meantime, do you know who Bosnia hates, Pat?
No, who's Bosnia?
So Bosnia is a country. I'm just gonna read the article instead of trying to set it up.
I like
Soccer
that they're a
flag.
country.
Me too. Soccer flag mix-up sparks international incident at World Cup qualifier. An unexpected and chaotic scene unfolded during the World Cup qualifying match between Bosnia and Herzegovina and the Ukraine, as a flag mix-up nearly incited a brawl between. No, it did incite a brawl. I've seen the video. The incident, which took place at Bilino Puja Stadium in Zenica, it stemmed from a misinterpretation of an upside-down flag displayed by Ukrainian supporters. Before the match, Ukraine fans held an upside-down Russia flag as a form of protest against Russian President Vladimir Putin. The gesture, meant to insult the Kremlin, was misinterpreted by Bosnian fans as a Serbian flag, leading to a confrontation between the two groups. Tensions between Bosnia and Serbia have remained high since the Yugoslav wars of the 90s, contributing to the volatile reaction from Bosnian fans. As the Ukrainian national anthem played, the display of the flag quickly caught the attention of the Bosnian supporters. Several ultras, known for their fervent support, so basically hooligans, but for, USSR countries, began to move aggressively towards the Ukrainian section of the stadium, and then a bunch of Ukrainian, hooligans, moved towards them. Footage from the event shows police intervening swiftly to prevent further physical altercations, although some fans were reportedly removed from the stands while the scuffle was occurring. I saw the flag and immediately felt disrespected, said Amir Begovic, a Bosnian fan who witnessed the incident. Yeah. We thought it was a Serbian flag, and given our history, it was unacceptable. The misunderstanding arose because the upside-down Russian flag closely resembles the Serbian tricolor. Bosnia and Serbia have had strained relations, unlike the more amicable ties between Russia and Serbia. The Ukrainian fans' intention to mock Russia inadvertently provoked the Bosnian crowd. Alexander Kravchenko, a Ukrainian fan who held the flag.
That name is the best name.
Alexander Kravchenko.
Kravchenko.
Yeah, I wonder how you got that. A Ukrainian fan who held the flag expressed regret over the incident. We never meant to offend Bosnia. Our gesture was aimed solely at Putin and the Russian government, Kravchenko said. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it was misunderstood and led to such a violent reaction. Despite the pre-match tension, the game itself proceeded without any further incident, and Ukraine secured a 2-0 victory. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the Ukraine? What the fuck are you doing playing in the World Cup? You're fighting a war. Your best athletes should be on the front lines. Like, what are we doing here? Remember when there was no crying in baseball because all the men were busy giving their lives? That's a real war. Is it the people of Bosnia? Like, take a breath.
Oh.
I know the Ukrainian fans are known for doing things like dressing like a monkey and throwing bananas on the field until certain teams aren't allowed to have fans. That's who we
support. By the way, all you people out there who support them, that's who you support. People who dress up like monkeys and throw bananas at black people. That's like the one you gave your money to.
1,000,000%. But maybe take a breath and go, I wonder if that's what we think it is. Oh, wait, that's just the Russian flag upside down. Is it the Ukrainian people? You're fighting a war. Stop watching World Cup games.
Well, go figure out how to get the distraction. You're right about the first part, but you definitely need a distraction from war.
Also, go over to I forget the word they used in the story, but whatever the hooligan is in USSR, and go, hey, we're doing this as a protest. Just so you know, it's the Russian flag upside down. Is it the players? We already talked about them. Is it Bosnia and is it Herzegovina? Those people didn't seem too mad about the flag. Were they just chilling? No, you go fight, Bosnians. That's your thing. If you're my boy, Pat, if we're fighting, we're fighting. I don't care who's there. I hope you do, Kevin. That would make my day. Pat, who's your piece of shit?
Dude, that happened when when Comics was at Foxwoods. There's a very funny comment named Corey Rodriguez, and he was there, and he does a joke about eating a banana and how you look stupid like that, and he happens to be a black guy. So someone came to the show and someone threw a banana on stage. Now, this fan threw it because he said if he had a banana right now, and in the joke he says he would show you guys whatever. So this fan was a fan of Corey and wasn't thinking. And as a white guy, he threw a banana to a comedian, and everyone else who didn't know the joke was like, "What the fuck?" And like, security comes over, and Corey's like, "I'm weirdly gonna defend this guy. Have you seen me before?" He goes, "Yeah, you always want a banana." So I brought. He's like, "Yeah, man, you might want to think about my color and your color." He's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." Like, it's crazy back and forth, but it was one of the wildest things I ever.
Greatest moment of that dude's life.
Oh, but not of Corey. Corey's like, "What the fuck?" I gotta stop telling a joke. Sorry, bring my own banana. But the piece of shit to me is flags. Flags are dumb. Get rid of flag. We don't need them anymore. You don't need to post them and go, "This is our land." We know where our land is. We have fucking GPS. We can fucking see all the borders. We don't need it. You don't need it. They're for old timey. We don't need to wave them. I don't give a fuck. I couldn't name you more than a couple flags. I wouldn't know who's. Giving a shit about a flag, caring about gang representation and all that kind of. You're over here. You're all playing soccer, losers. You can't go to the gay event and then pretend like you're a tough guy. It's like, we're mad about this. Like Bobby said, do I think they need distractions? Yes, but if you're somebody who's so wrapped up in the war, you know you can't handle distractions, so stay the fuck home. It should be the people like me who never know if we're in a war or give a fuck about politics that fucking can go watch a dumb event. Because I'm going to see a flag for anything I wouldn't know. I'm like, what's that, the Banana Republic? Like, I wouldn't fucking know. It's flags. Flags are dumb.
I see what you're saying. And they are inherently socialist. Like the Pledge of Allegiance was written by a socialist to get people to love it.
Who pledges anymore?
Do
frat parties and homos.
True, and I am both. But I get the idea of a flag representing something, right? Like one of my favorite moments is the guy who steals the flag from the Vietnam protester in the baseball game, who's trying to light it on fire. Because again, it was a distraction and he was trying to make it political. Like I get that. But for me, the piece of shit in this particular story is the Bosnian fan base. So you were angry enough to go attack another fan base over a flag turning upside down, but we don't hear any injury report. There are 0 deaths. How angry were you? Right?
Yeah.
Like in your situation in the story you just told, we'll take it a step further. Like I was talking with a comedian this weekend because somebody's headlining a local show that he doesn't like, and the co-headliner I don't like. And he was like, "Oh, why don't you like that guy?" And I was like, "All right." In addition to that stuff, he does say the N-word a bunch. I think I was like, well, like, what do you do if somebody says the N-word? What's the line? Because this guy, Earl's black, obviously. He was like, "Do I shoot him?" Like, what? I'm just gonna move on with my set. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but if the emotion's there behind it, you know what I mean? Like, then act with that intent. You can't be fake angry. Like, if you're angry enough to go fight somebody, be angry enough to kill. Like, you don't go into
unless you do actually know. It is pretty mature to actually know your worth. And be like, yeah, in my brain, I want to fuck that guy up, but in my body, I know I can't. Like, you're still allowed to be angry then. He's smarter than being the guy who goes, "I'm going to fuck him up," and he gets fucked up, because not only now is your opinions wrong, but then you're beat up. So, like, sometimes it's not bad to, like, be smart, but like I've seen that before. I've had a guy heckle me in the audience, and then he's sitting down and I'm sitting on stage, so I guess he kind of thinks that he's bigger than he is. And then afterwards, when we get on stage and I'm bigger than them, they're like, "Come on, man, I was just fucking around." I'm like, "No, you wanted to fight me for a joke I fucking told." And the guy's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were bigger." I'm like, "Okay, then fucking run." So no, yeah, I get that shit.
Yeah, like if you're ready to cross that line, right? If you had been ready to just go from the stage, like if that guy was ready to go at that point, it shouldn't matter how big you are. You should have made the decision. It should have been.
I also thought he didn't think I'd get off stage and go fight him. I think most of them are usually like, "Oh, he can't leave the stage and he can't do that." Like, yeah, I can.
No, 100%. And like the point I'm making for him though is like, if you were angry enough to be ready to fight, it shouldn't matter that you should be ready to fight. Like if you're willing to go over there and punch somebody for the flag, you shouldn't stop because the police get, you know what I mean? That's all. Like it's time to just start blasting, as Clownface said.
All right. You want some weird stuff?
Oh, you know me, I love the weird stuff.
Yeah. You know Slash from Guns N' Roses? The guy with the big hat?
Yeah. Yeah.
His stepdaughter, Lucy Blue Knight, died at age 25, but there was a haunting final post revealed on her Facebook, like the day that her death was announced.
Go on.
Slash's stepdaughter Lucy Blue Knight shared a chilling final post on Instagram, after the Guns N' Roses star revealed her death at age 25. Knight passed away on Friday, July 19th. The Los Angeles Medical Examiner's Office said her autopsy had been scheduled. Knight died in a private residence. Records obtained by the Post revealed no other information about her passing was given. 3 hours after the Guns N' Roses guitarist, 58, announced his stepdaughter's death on Sunday evening, a selfie of Knight was posted to her social media with a message. Whether I made you feel excluded, manipulated, controlled you, told you to quit your day job from the comfort of being kindly supported by my parents, or drowned real issues in toxic positivity, I am sorry, she wrote. Countless missed opportunities and connections due to a disgustingly big ego, insecure heart, and fear of being vulnerable. May my soul learn to evolve from my poor job of being Lucy Blue. Peace. In the eerie photo, Knight stared away from the camera and displayed a serious look on her face. Followers immediately theorized that she had scheduled the post before she passed away. No shit. I can't believe you can schedule a post. This has to be so shocking and hard for her loved ones. I'm so sorry to all who adore her. This sucks, one person commented. Really sad to read this even from someone that didn't know her. Well, I don't care about that. Slash revealed Knight's death in a heartfelt post, noting his stepdaughter had passed away peacefully. He put a whole fucking post up. He called her incredibly talented, a wonderful person, this and that, whatever. And the whole thing goes on like that. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Slash for coming out and talking about the death of his stepdaughter? And he's trying to say nice things, but obviously this was a tortured soul and somebody who was beat up with all the notes they left afterwards. Maybe you don't go up there and try to do the, oh, we loved her and she's gone. I mean, sounds like maybe you weren't the best. You're a stepdad. I guess you're not her dad, but stepdaughter. I don't know who wasn't there in her life, but someone needed to be there to write all these things you know about her. I would never be the guy if I knew someone that killed themselves. I knew them the best. Like, all right, well, then it's your fault. Why were you there for him? What the fuck? Is it her for scheduling a fucking letter after your suicide? Fuck you twice. All right, we're already crying, and then you fucking put out a note afterwards? Fuck that. You don't need that shit ever. That's like, no, the equivalent would be, and I know people that this happened to before. One person, obviously. Not like a lot of people this happened to. But someone was friends with someone who had taken their own life. And they were having, like, you know, issues back and forth. They were friendly, like, not dating really, but, like, I guess the guy really liked her and realized she never would like him, whatever. It's not the reason why he killed himself, whatever. But he had sent her a letter professing his love, killed himself, but he mailed it out the day before, so she got it 2 days later in the mail. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? This person's dead. You don't know how to respond. You start to feel like you're guilt. It's like, fuck you. And that's what the equivalent of this is here, leaving that video. Or is it fucking the New York Post? Like, leave this one alone. No one knows who she is. I shouldn't even know this happened. Someone's daughter died. Someone's child died. A person died. A friend died. A human being died. We don't need to post it and go, here's her sad letter. Who are we helping here? This isn't, if anything, it's going to influence more people to go, oh, sweet, we can leave scheduled notes when we die. There's that many morons out there who think this will be a cool trend. I'll be trending. You'll be deading. That's what you'll be. You'll be dead because you don't have to kill yourself. Or is it me? Because when I saw the article top, and I was like, oh, maybe she faked it. This is going to be a fun story. And then halfway through reading it just now went, oh, it doesn't end fun. She's just dead. Who's the piece of shit of the story?
So let's get Slash out of the way. He's not the piece of shit.
Okay.
It seems like he's the best celebrity parent ever, right? Normally the kids
are celebrities. Too, so he doesn't have to really care.
He doesn't have to really care. And like normally the kids of celebrities, particularly if their stepdad is famous, are narcissistic pieces of shit. Now I make suicide jokes all the time here, but my reassurance to anybody who's worried is the reason I never will is I'm way too much of a narcissist for that. Like I'll think about it a bunch, but boy, do I love myself. So clearly Slash broke that trend of celebrity kids thinking they're the shit. It's not her. Like if you're emotionally in a state where you're going to kill yourself, I'm not going to hold you accountable for scheduling an Instagram post. Like both acts are extremely selfish and but you're not seeing that perspective from whatever you're battling with mentally. For me, it's the post. Fuck off. Like this is the most traumatic moment of two parents' lives. And now you're putting it out there. And it's not even a good article. You didn't even do something like you won't believe what Slash's daughter did to her wrists.
Right. she stepped at it, her wrists.
She stepped at it. Slash on yeah. So like for me, the piece of shit's them. There's no news here. It'd be one thing if there was groundbreaking. Oh, it'd be one
My
thing if
phone went off. Sorry.
no, it's all good. No, I thought you were playing a clip, but like it'd be one thing if
No.
you were right and there was a fake or there was conspiracy around it. You know, if there was a podcast where people were speculating she was murdered and that off camera, what we can't see, the gunpoint was occurring, and that's why she made. You know what I mean? Like, then make it a news story. But until then, let the dead rest in peace, man.
Yeah. It's I never like any of these things. I don't like learning about if someone's celebrity, their kid should be left alone, even in death, whatever. And I get they want to talk about it. That's one thing. I don't know. This felt weird. I don't like articles like this, and I also don't like this. I don't want me to sound fucked up. This girl wrote this whole letter thing. Obviously, it was like a crying, like, I want everyone to know that I'm sorry I wasn't all the things you want me to be. And I'll tell you, but if you take that way out and you kill yourself, you shouldn't be allowed your last shots. If you want your last shots, stay here and say them. Maybe saying that out loud to everybody would have changed what you did. It's coward's way out. I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I cry for her family, and I'm not trying to be a jerk like that. But like, I'd be so mad if someone's like, "Well, you can just write that to me, but you couldn't say that. If you could just say it." I mean, yeah, because like, yeah, you can blame yourself too, but it's like, I don't know. And then the New York Post fucking putting it up there, like, what are you getting out of this? What's who are you helping? I don't see this helping anyone. This is not an article where it's like, if you're thinking about killing yourself, look. It's like, no, it's getting more attention. They get super attention right now for this thing. So I don't understand what it is. And like, who's talked about Slash in the last 20 years, like for real? No one. So it's like you're even hashing up someone who's not even famous right now. Like, if it was literally like Leonardo DiCaprio's stepdaughter or something, you're like, he's still in the news. You know what I mean? Like, if it was somebody like that, Kevin Costner, because he's always involved in fucking something. You're like, okay, I get it. But Slash is like, it's such a long time ago.
Yeah, leave Knight's Blue Knight out of the news.
What?
Her name's Blue Knight, and she had a real blue.
I was like, wait, did you have a stroke? I was like, I don't know what's happening here.
It was hard to get out.
It is sometimes. It's tough to do that. It's not easy what we do, guys. Don't try this at home.
Even though it looks like we're just trying it at home.
We are definitely trying it out. That's what we're saying. Don't do it. It's our thing. Don't steal our thing. Hit like and subscribe, please. And make sure you're getting tickets to come out August 8th and 10th, the Roadhouse. Bobby, what do you got?
So I've got one last one here, and I wish I was leaving on a happier note, but a tragic incident occurred on a quiet July evening when a DUI driver crashed into a horse-drawn buggy, resulting in severe injuries to 8 people, including a baby. The incident took place on Division Highway, a road known for its peaceful rural scenery, but on this night it became the site of chaos and heartbreak. The crash, which happened around 2:45 a.m., involved Philip C. Sullivan III, an 18-year-old from Lidditz, PA. According to police, Sullivan was driving under the influence when his vehicle struck the buggy driven by Andrew J. Stoltzfus, an 18-year-old from Honeybrook. Stoltzfus, who sustained critical injuries, tragically passed away 2 days later. Witnesses described a scene of confusion and distress as emergency services arrived to find the buggy destroyed and its occupant severely injured. It was horrifying to see, said a local resident who arrived shortly after the crash. The horse was killed instantly, and the people in the buggy were thrown about. It was clear they needed immediate medical attention. Authorities reported that Sullivan fled from the scene but was apprehended 45 minutes later. His blood alcohol content was found to be over the legal limit for an 18-year-old, but under the legal limit for a 21-year-old, and he was also under the influence of an alleged controlled substance. Charges against Sullivan include homicide by vehicle, DUI, and multiple counts of aggravated assault. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the young man driving his car? Yes, he was drunk. It doesn't sound like he was very drunk, though. It almost sounds like he waited off in a drunkenness in order to drive home what he thought was sober. But you drank, you killed a person and a horse and a bunch of Amish people. Is it the Amish people? Like, you're the problem here. You don't have lights on those goddamn horse and buggies. You go 12 miles an hour and you're on a highway. Like, it sucks. People who drive that area know to be cautious about it, but at the end of the day, like, you are creating the problem. There are laws in Connecticut. Nobody follows them, but it says there's a minimum speed limit on certain roads. Like, that's how it should be on the local highways. Is it the newspaper? Why is this a story? Why'd you try to make it seem like a podcast episode? Pat, who's your piece of shit?
This is a story, man. When you hit a horse and buggy with a car, that's crazy. Like when you hear that, you're like, "What? That's nuts!" Like you know what I mean? You don't think you don't hear too many horse and buggy accidents. So, and yes, you're hoping it's a horse on buggy crime, but it's not. It's a car versus horse and buggy. It's not the Amish. Like I know what you're saying, Bobby, but they literally were doing it first. So like we changed, like, and we put cars on the roads that weren't supposed to have those, and we told them, look at you without your lights and shit. You know, they're just doing their shit. They do. So like, that's them being them. It's the guy who thought, I'm fine enough. The guy who thinks that if you just yell out the window while chugging coffee and playing cold air on your face, you're sober. Like, no, you're not. You're fucked up. Take the whole night off, whatever. And if you are going to be drunk driving, stay away from roads that might have horses and fucking buggies. Like, dude, I don't go on. Back in the day when I drank, I wouldn't go on roads that would say like caution boulder falling because I knew that would fuck with my head, even though it never was gonna fall. I'm like, fuck this. Or anyone else like you knew deer popped out. Like, nope, main roads. You avoid all the craziness. I'd rather be on a major highway and just really super focus if I'm gonna be a drunk driver than go on some back road where I'm like, my brain starts to relapse and go, I can just do whatever I want. Who cares if I hit the Amish? Am I gonna ruin some butter? Who gives a fuck? So yeah, it's the guy.
I see what you're saying. I think you're partially there, but I think you let the Amish off the hook way too easily. Like you're right, they were doing it first, but they were driving on dirt roads through cornfields. Then we came in and our taxes paid for those nice paved things that those horses destroy that have to be redone every year because of the fucking horses. And you know who doesn't pay taxes? The Amish, because they're a religion. Also, you've got a bunch of people now in a horse and buggy, 8 of them. I'd like to know their blood alcohol content. How do we know old Stoltzfus wasn't at fault? I've seen the video of a passed out dude in a horse and buggy, and the horse just knows its way home, and the cops just let him go. Like, the Amish, and then the last point is there's a limited genetic gene pool within the Amish community, right? They're not taking on active new members to introduce new DNA. And when you do that through a certain number of generations, you get a bunch of inbreds. And they're not good drivers. They cheat the system. They stink. They refuse to use deodorant. They've all got phones in their garages that they use, or their barns, I guess they call them, because they don't put cars in there, but they put fucking phones in that run on electricity. So for me, the piece of shit's the Amish. Stop being a tax shill.
Yeah, cut the shit, stupids. How about that? That's my new saying for them.
That's also their favorite game.
Cut the shit, stupids.
Yeah. That's what they do in their free
common?
time. They're not allowed to do video games, so they play Cut the Shit Stupid, where they make manure out of cow, or they make fertilizer out of cow manure. And they make the stupid people do it.
Stupid poop. Adidas apologizes to Bella Hadid. Is that how you say it? Bella Hadid?
Hadid the Habib.
For a negative impact of Olympic ad as model reportedly hires lawyers. Adidas apologized for the negative impact its Munich Olympics themed ad had on Bella Hadid and other models who starred in the controversial campaign. Connections continue to be made to the terrible tragedy that occurred at the Munich Olympics due to our recent SL72 campaign, the shoe brand said in a statement on Adidas Originals Instagram story. These connections are not meant, and we apologize for any upset or distress caused to communities around the world. Hold on, where's the thing? God damn it. Adidas reiterated that it made an unintentional mistake. We apologize to our partners, Bella Hadid, ASAP Nast, which is another ASAP I wasn't aware of, Jules Conde, and others for any negative impact on them, and we are revising the campaign. The German company faced backlash last week for tapping Hadid, who has supported the Palestinians amid the Israel-Hamas war, to promote its SL72 sneakers inspired by the 1972 games, during which 11 Israeli athletes and 1 German police officer were killed by a Palestinian militant group. Yeah, that's a good time to recall. That's like having, this is our 9/11 fun tower fall down. Anyway, Adidas first apologized Thursday and announced it would be revising the ad after making an unintentional reference to the terrorist attack. We are conscious that connections have been made to tragic historical events, though these are completely unintentional, and we apologize for any upset or distress caused, the brand said in the statement. As a result, we are revising the remainder of the campaign. We believe in sport as a unifying force around the world and will continue our efforts to champion diversity and equality in everything we do. Who is the piece of shit in the story? Is it Adidas for they just did an ad campaign? They're trying to tie it into an old Olympics. They're trying to make you think about Germany and shit like that. Yeah, okay. It's kind of a callback to a thing that some people have problems with. But people anywhere if you're gonna do a thing with the whole world, you're gonna offend somebody no matter what you do. There's gonna be one group that gets mad about this, that, whatever. But you still gotta be you and do your thing. Maybe they chose the wrong person, but like my God, like no one ever knew like Cindy Crawford or Kathy Ireland's political views when I was growing up. They're probably Klans members for all I fucking know. You know what I mean? But like, so who fucking knew? But like now it's like, oh, we can't have this girl be in it because it's kind of a nod to the Munich '72. Also, she is pro this and anti this. She's fucking hot. Who gives a shit what she thinks? She's a dope. She's there to be hot. She's a hot lady. Her name's Bella. You don't have fat Bellas. We don't do that. If you do, you put them
No
on the pasture.
fat Bellas.
No fat Bellas. That's what happens. NFB. NFB, baby. No fat Bellas. That's our thing. But like, is it Bella or whatever her name is, Hadid, for having an opinion? What the fuck are you doing? Shut up. Who cares about your stupid opinion? It's the Olympics. Hey, can we stop it now? I don't care. I saw what's on today starting shit. I know they're doing other events. I'm like, I don't care. I saw on YouTube yesterday, they have like a 3-on-3 basketball one. Did you know our U.S. team, Jimmer Fredette, is like our star? Like he's like
That's
the
awesome.
Greatest 3-on-3 basketball guy, Jimmer fucking Fredette. And he's just,
Hell yeah.
It's just them gunning up half court three. It's like so stupid what we got going. Cut the Olympics out. We have enough streaming and things to see all the sports. We see countries play countries in everything all the time. It's not unique anymore. It was a long time ago. It's not unique. It happens in every sport all the time with everything. Every sport has its World Cup or International Cup or all these kind of like European plays versus American, whatever, North America stuff. We see the battles of countries all the time. No one cares anymore. Fucking, I was just watching before this, watching Germany play the U.S. in basketball. And Dennis Schroeder is the star of fucking Germany. And I get it. His family was kind of born there. He's the black guy playing point guard for a German team. We're not doing countries anymore. It's not what it is. He wouldn't have been on that team a long time ago. Who's a piece of shit?
So it's not the Olympics. I love the Olympics for all the reasons you just mentioned. People give a shit about Dennis Schroeder in Germany. Jimmer Fredette has a chance to be an American hero. Like, it gives those guys who are, in the best example I can think of is the NBA, because that's what I watch. So these guys who aren't stars get to go for a month, represent their country, and be a hero to them. You know what I mean? It was always fun to watch the Gasol brothers in Spain. Like, you're kind of pulling, not that you're rooting for them, you're pulling for your guys, but it's cool to see them hailed as the heroes. They'll never get to be in the NBA. I mean, the Gasol brothers were like the Kobe's of Spain. They just don't use helicopters.
Yeah,
but
that's
not
the
the
only
Olympics.
difference.
Yep, that's it. It's not Bella Hadid as much as it is ASAP Nasty. Like, your name's ASAP Nasty, and they made a nasty video campaign using you.
Yeah,
get the fuck over
nasty.
it. It's Adidas.
They did it quick. They did it ASAP.
They did it as fast as possible. It's Adidas. They are a part of the greatest, arguably the greatest commercial like product moment in Olympic history. I just talked about it on the Davey Max Sports program. Jesse Owens is sprinting against the Nazis. Do you remember?
Yes.
I know you weren't there, but you're familiar with the story.
No, I do.
So
I don't remember, but I do know of it.
Yeah. I know you weren't there, but in 1936, the Nazis have risen to power. Hitler's putting on the Olympics, and Jesse Owens is sprinting. Hitler puts out a mandate: no German company is to help Jesse Owens because he does not want to watch this guy beat his Nazi heroes, right? What does Adidas do? Adidas and his brother, who went on to form Puma shortly after, sneak their sneakers to Jesse Owens' tryout. Weren't even supposed to be there. He was trying on all the potential shoes he could wear to sprint in and shave like something ridiculous, like 3 seconds off of his time. And he went and wore him in the Olympics. And Adidas's whole point was, no, we did this because it was about giving the best athletes the equal playing field to compete. Like, we believe in this, yada, yada, yada. So use that moment. That's a moment everybody can get behind, except for the Nazis. And then, boom, we found our problem. And I'm not talking the new cool Nazis on the internet. I'm talking legitimate Nazis. That's the only people pissed with that story.
Right.
Stay away from the Jew thing. I know they don't technically control the media, but anytime you make something with them as a potential controversy, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I agree.
You should have seen this coming. You should hire somebody who's like Jewish history. That's their only thing, is to be like, is this going to offend them? Because that, like, if they had made an anti-Muslim commercial, as much as I don't think they're the right people, I don't see them overreacting like this unless if they put Muhammad in which case then, you get a Charlie Hebdo situation or like
And
a
you got
Charlie Hebdo
cartoons,
situation.
baby. No one likes cartoons.
So for me, the piece of shit's Adidas. Focus on the Jesse Owens things.
Yeah, always. I actually have a thing. Like, they used to have the what would Lance Armstrong do? Whatever mine says. Focus on the Jesse Owens things. That's what it is. It's
way cooler than
being
one
black
winning.
and fast and cool. Have the glove.
The sad story.
Thank
there
you guys
is,
so much. Oh, good. So thank you guys so much for watching. All the regular folks that are in here, Ricky and Kev and Terry and all the friends. What side was I on during World War II? I was a fucking fence sitter. I was the Bob Levy of fucking World War II. I just sat there and guessed both sides. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you come on out to the album recording of Mohegan Sun, August 8th through 10th. If you're in the casino, walk around days before that, and you see my picture all over the place, take a picture and send it to us. Why not? It's fun. And go, look how Black Pat looks. It's fucking great. We're excited for that. Besides that, yeah, go to over to our Patreon and join that if you want to. You get the Thursday. What the fuck? Thursday thought shows. Thursday Thursdays the shows, comedy shows I do. But Thursday thought shows
shooting outside of my apartment.
Yeah, Thursday bitches. But so make sure you go to the podcast, the POS podcast, and join that so you get that show plus our other shows. Thank you guys for watching, Bobby.
Just a sad note about Jesse Owens. So he went over to Nazi Germany in 1936. And Hitler didn't want the world to know how bad things were, so he treated Jesse Owens like a god. And then Jesse Owens came back to the United States pre-civil rights and was like, God, Nazi Germany was so much better than the United States. And honestly, for that, Jesse Owens might be the piece of shit. So if you can't beat him, if you can't join him, beat him. And don't be piece of shit.